Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Kingdom Soldier, and I'm back again with another non-gameplay slash commentary. If you guys are wondering how I did that, I actually got my my blue snowball microphone. Let me move this out of the way. I got my blue snowball, and it was actually donated to me by one of my subscribers, Nicholas Brotman, I believe is his name, and he does not have a YouTube channel or anything, but his girlfriend does, and so it's like DJ Gabby or something like that. So you guys check in the description. I'll put an annotation on the screen. Thank you very much, Nick, for the blue snowball. It works really well. I've actually been using it in almost all of my videos for the last 2 weeks. So if you've noticed a difference in the sound, that's why. And I still keep the headphones on because I feel like Puckett. I feel like a commentator. I feel like I'm doing interviews when I do interviews. I feel like legit. And speaking of interviews, the reason why you're not seeing Just Tipsy right now, the captain of Justice Pro, and you're seeing me, I was supposed to interview him today. I've been blasting out on Twitter. For those of you that don't know, he's the next pro player that I'm interviewing. However, he was getting DDoSed right before we did the interview today, and then he had to go into scrimming, and it kept messing up the Skype call, and so we're going to try again tomorrow. And what I was going to do tomorrow is talk to you guys about the Call of Duty qualifiers that start on Saturday and give you a little piece of what's going to happen on Sunday with my brand new show. I'm not going to tell you the name today, however, I'm going to give you some details. And so what I will do today is I will give you what's coming up with the online qualifier. So a couple of things to think about, and I really want you guys to put your opinion in the comments, because as I read over what's going to happen with the qualifiers, you can see I got them here on the screen for you guys, and I tried to make it bigger. I know a lot of times when I put Twitter on here, you can't really read it, so I tried to make it bigger so you can see it. If you're reading this, if you're viewing this video on your phone, you're probably not really seeing it. But so if you notice right here, you know, it's Call of Duty Championships has been announced, and basically what's going to happen is that starting this Saturday is the first preliminary North American qualifier, and then next Saturday is another preliminary North American qualifier. The top 8 teams from both of those qualifiers will play together on, I believe it is March 8th and 9th, and that's at a regional LAN in Florida, and the top 8 from those 16 will go to Call of Duty Championships. Now here's the thing, like, we all raged and went crazy when they were best of 3s. The whole community went up in arms, but the community didn't go up in arms because we were worried about, you know, the little guy not making it. We were worried about these guys. We were worried about these teams, the teams that we know and love, and the teams that we want to make sure go to Call of Duty Championships. And all of us have said, you know, what's going to happen if Optic doesn't make it, or if Envy doesn't make it, or, you know, what if Complexity doesn't even qualify? What if Complexity gets eliminated and doesn't make it to the LAN? And that is a reality with what I just talked about with Just Tipsy, is the DDoSers and the host booters and all that kind of stuff. And it may have been a mistake to go best of 5. Because you're talking about, there's room in both qualifiers this week and next week for 1,240 teams. Now, in one of them, the first one, there's over 1,500 teams that have signed up, but most of them are ineligible. So we may be looking at a total over the 2 weekends of 1,000 teams or more playing in this tournament, and they're all going to be playing best of 5s. And so my opinion about the pro teams that are concerned, I mean, there's 24 qualifiers around the world to find out who's going to go to this tournament. Do I disagree with only having 8 North American teams? Yes, I do. I think that we already have 8 of the top teams in the world in North America. So, and when they travel to Gfinity, when they travel anywhere, they win. So why not just take maybe the top, maybe even the top 4 pro-seeded teams, like with the most pro points, and send them to Call of Duty Championships because we want them to be there. We don't want the top 4 teams to not make it. Like, if Complexity doesn't make it, or if TK doesn't make it, or if Envy doesn't make it, or if Optic doesn't make it, people are going to be up in arms. You know, I've said this before, we will be lowering the stream views if that happens. So, but here's my real opinion. If any of these teams that we just looked at, if any of these teams right here, so we're looking at Complexity, Curse LV, Curse NY, Curse Youth Can't Go, Little Kids Daycare. Oh, this poor guy right here, Attach. Oh, this poor man. So, Denial, Elevate, Envy, Phase, Fuff, Saw, Justice Pro, Adversity, XS, Fuse, Optic, Sigma, SB, TK, TVA. If any of these teams, these big, like if Phase or Envious or Optic or even SB, I mean, Denial, a lot of these teams, if they don't make it, then they shouldn't make it. Because they have expanded it to best of 5s. If for some reason, without host booting and all that kind of stuff, if legitimately, because it's single elimination, if legitimately Curse LV is eliminated by the 700th seed in the second round, then they don't deserve to go to Call of Duty Championships. And that's just my opinion. And I know how that sounds because these teams have grinded this game, they've played really hard, they've traded rosters, and some of these new rosters aren't going to make it. It's impossible, actually. The number of pro teams that you're looking at right here on, well, I guess you guys are looking at it, yeah, right here. The number of pro teams that you guys are looking at is, I believe there's 19 on here, and only 8 can go. Now, of those 19, there's 12 of them that we would all love to see at Call of Duty Championships. Complexity, Curse LV, Curse NY, Denial, Elevate, Envious, Phase, Justice Pro, Fuse, Optic, SB, and TK. We would like to see all of those teams there, but only 8 of them can go. So 4 of the teams I just listed will not be at Call of Duty Championships. Now, I think that maybe more than 4 might not make it. That's what's unfortunate. That's the sad truth, is that you may only have 5 of these teams go. And if one of them does not have nade shot on it, you know, they may have to do what they may need to do instead of changing the rules like everybody thinks MLG is going to do. What they may need to do is just open up an opportunity for a roster change, and Nadeshot can join Complexity, or Nadeshot can join Curse LV, so that Optic Nadeshot can bring his viewers to this tournament. I am really excited to see what happens this weekend, to see who wins, to see who kind of comes out on top, and I'm guessing that this is going to take a very long time, and that's why the regional isn't until March, because we're talking about best of 5s with host booting and everything else that we know exists. We're talking about all of that happening while they're trying to get 1,000 teams through this qualifying process. So if you guys have any more questions about the qualifying process and how it's supposed to work and all that kind of stuff, let me know. It's all here on MajorLeagueGaming.com, and supposedly it's going to be on MLG.tv. And for those of you, I've seen in people's streams, I've seen in Imbo's stream a lot, people saying, it's for $1 million, you know, and no, it's not for $1 million. It's for $400,000 for first, $200,000 for second, and then it breaks down and breaks down and breaks down to where I believe once you get to 8th, you get $32,000, and the rest of the teams don't get anything. But I believe top 8 teams actually get, I mean, 8th place gets as much money as, or more money than an MLG championship. So it's not too bad. There's a lot of money to be spread out amongst everybody, but the top 2 teams are the teams that, I mean, you want to be top 2 in the Call of Duty Championships. And so I will wait until we get through the qualifiers a little bit in order to do my predictions. If you ask me right now who is going to make it out for sure, 3 teams that I know are going to make it out of the qualifier, I would say Optic Gaming, I would say Curse LV, and I would say I'd say SB. Optic Gaming, Curse LV, and SB. And all these other teams are going to move closer to each other, so their ability to play off-host and on-host is going to be better. So we're just going to have to see. But those 3 teams, based on the way they've played in the Winter Invitational and scrims and things like that, I think they're going to make it. This is your boy Kingdom Soldier, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.